So if you have any calls, do them now because we're not going to be around for that much longer. But let me read you an email from Ray. Superstition, myth and religion are simply ways that people seek to control those of less intelligence by fear, fear of God's mighty hand, fear of consequences, etc., each unfounded in logic or reason. That's a very good, I think, a very good way of putting it together. Okay, here's another one. There are many unexplained things, encounters, which many of us refuse to talk about. However, evil does exist in many forms, especially in terms of maliciousness. Yes, I hear you, caller. Just give me 1 second, please. Seeing is believing, and I believe in the case of the so-called mythical spirits, unless we can see or confess to what we believe. If a man can undergo cardiac arrest and have an out-of-body experience before being resuscitated, anything is possible. If in St. Lucia we can have a mountain range called the Sorcerer, La Sorcière, somebody ought to have believed in it then. Thank you for that email. So, I'm sorry we can't even comment on that. But let's go to our caller tonight. Hello, welcome to Dolor Factor Live.
Good night, Delia.
Good night.
Good evening.
Yeah. Superstition is part of our culture, and there is good and bad in everything. I want to say who your sponsors are.
You're too late because I'm sure you can see my guests have their bags in front of them. We've put all our names in the bag already. I'm afraid we have to have a cut-off point because it'll just keep on going. So perhaps next time you'll try and respond a little earlier to us.
Okay.
All right, but thank you for calling the program. Okay, well, we've nearly come to the end, but I'm going to just allow one more call. If someone would like to call, we'll take one more call before we wrap up. And I still want to perhaps send or speak about a couple of the emails. In fact, we mentioned the Imaginaire. We just mentioned it in an email, but that's something that a lot of people stopped me today to talk about. Yeah. People said they had experienced it, and it's true, but it's a spirit, isn't it? Yeah. So the people who aren't familiar with it, perhaps Ricky, explain what an Imaginaire is.
They say it's this man who takes the form of a spirit and go behind ladies at the night. The ladies they like, and the ladies not taking them on. For instance, I like you, I'll come behind you in the night and do whatever I can do. But my belief is that if you can do it, why doesn't the woman get pregnant?
Because it's a spirit.
You know,
but does it really happen? But I mean, a lot of people, they swear by it.
There are a lot of people who try to get up and they have marks all over their body and they find themselves naked on the bed. And
I heard all of that. Let's go to our final call tonight. Good night. Welcome to Dolor Factor Live.
Really unfortunate from being the first person to call to be calling. I am the last person to call to get through.
I'm sorry. It has been very busy, but thank you for keeping trying.
Okay. All of y'all, with the exception of the guy with the sort of reddish shirt, Mr. LaForce and Miss Dolor, y'all are from my community, Bocage, going down to Chaussee, Waterworks, Ricky Cedars. Okay?
Okay,
right.
caller.
Now, Ricky,
yes, caller.
Mary is not a god. Don't debate that.
My brother, you have your facts, okay? I have my beliefs, you have yours.
Your opinion, she's a god. She's not a god. Right. Now, if we have to trace back on this whole thing, if we go back to the Old Testament, from the book of Moses and the lost books of Moses, the 6 and 7, the books of Moses, a lot of the evil we are referring to here, okay, may have originated from then, okay? We call it evil now, but even some of the practices of Moses in that time, if we look at it now, we will say it is evil, okay? And if you read your Bible, it will clearly explain to you some of what God ordained and asked Moses to do. If we now have to practice it, society now will call us evildoers. Right?
I'm listening.
Okay? Now, this large Jablesse and this thing, it goes back to our history of black people. The master used to dress a woman in white at the borders of the slave estates, so that the slaves would not cross in fear of the evil driving them back or killing them. A lot of those things we are referring to there, the three of y'all there have not researched it before y'all came on the program, and y'all want us, the listeners, to explain. And we are trying to explain to y'all, but y'all are all naive.
Well, okay, thank you so much for your comments. We value your comments. Now, and I think that everyone has their own opinion. And when we looked at our guest tonight, we decided this is what we want to do, but we do respect your opinion. Now, unfortunately, it's time for us to go, but before we do, we have our bags. And I'd like us to maybe draw some winners here. So I see you have 2 bags in front of you. So let's do one of those. The salsa. Okay then. So let's go to our salsa. 2 months of Latin dance classes. The question was to name the Rodney Bay studio where Expose St. Lucia holds its classes. And the answer was the Yoga on the Bay studio. And the winner?
This looks like A. Augustine.
Okay, A. Augustine.
A. Augustine.
All right, for the salsa. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you very much. Let me have that. Let me just have that. Okay, and
Okay.
yeah, just have the winner. Thank you. And our Farens. You were asked to mention 2 of the flavors that we mentioned tonight and the company who produces the ice cream. Ricky, the winner is?
Chandler, CHANCELLORL at Hotmail.
Okay, great.
Chandler
All right.
at Hotmail.
Thank you so much. So, any flavor of your choice. And actually, we said we're going to have 2 winners. So let's pick another from Farens. So Chancellor has won some Farens ice cream, and the second person.
HKS Wilson.
Okay.
Apparently, that is his PIN number.
Okay, we have came from the BlackBerry.
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. or Miss Wilson, that you have received the ice cream. Okay, and the last one, it's going to be something from DFL. We want to show some appreciation to our viewers. We asked you to name 3 of our sponsors, and one of them must be a car rental company, and of course the car rental company was Cars for Rent. And of course, I forgot to mention the ice cream, the person or the company that produces the ice cream, of course, Farens. Okay.
Okay, the name is Val, and the last 3 digits of the PIN number, 370.
Okay, so Val, you are going to get something from DFL as a token of appreciation for watching the show. I have to say goodbye to my guests. It's been a pleasure to have both of you. Any last words?
Well,
Ricky?
let me explain. I'm not an expert. I mean, most of the things I know is through my growing up and through reading. And I believe everybody have their beliefs. I respect it. I hope they respect mine and not bombard me. It was nice being here. I mean, I enjoyed being around Lucien. I've learned a lot from him. So, thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I think it was a very important discussion. Enjoyed it. I'd want to encourage people to explore those things, try to find out more about it. There are persons like Gerald Massey. You could find out about Charles Finch. He has a book called Echoes of the Old Darkland, which goes back into some of the origins of religion and some of the myths that pervade now, both in Christianity and outside of it. So thanks for having me. And
well, thank you both for being here. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I think one of the things for Dolor Factor Life, we always say we like to talk. We like to have a conversation. No one is saying that we are the best of the best, but what we are saying is we are bringing you alternative ways of thinking of it. And viewers, you are always free to call us with your comments, with your questions, and we welcome those. So thank you again to my guests, and thank you to everyone who provided giveaways, and of course yourselves for watching. But don't forget, if you'd like to be the person who puts their name to U Factor's logo and theme, or if you'd like us to visit your children's school for phase 1 of U Factor, you can call us on 487-3327, that's 487-3327, or visit dolorfactorlive.com. Don't forget the press club with Clinton Reynolds here, DBS, 8:30 this Sunday. Next week on Dolor Factor Live, we'll be discussing another program we did on RSL 97. We'll be talking about wills and the laws of succession. It's unbelievable how many people die without leaving wills. We'll talk about the many repercussions. My last words for you tonight. We don't have to believe in other stories or accounts, and we don't have to believe in the teachings of others' religions, but we should be open-minded and respectful of other people's beliefs. The way we were brought up affects the way we view the world, and no one likes their beliefs to be ridiculed. But sometimes myths and superstitions provide laughter. For example, when it's your birthday, you're supposed to blow out the candles, aren't you? And make a wish. If you blow out all the candles at once, then your wish will be fulfilled. It will come true, right? But you could look at it this way. You may just be wasting your lung power, not to mention leaving a few droplets of the cake. Oh boy. But whatever approach you take, whether it is to dismiss the unexplained or believe in it wholeheartedly, remember that science is making inroads every day into matters that used to baffle our forefathers. Yet there are still many, many unexplained mysteries in life. So even if you hold on to your beliefs, don't let yourself be crippled by them. You must always look for answers before deciding something is supernatural or that the situation is out of your hands. Why should you? Because DFL asked you to. Thank you for watching Dolor Factor Live. On behalf of the DFL team and PBS, good night and God bless.